Imagine stepping into the batter's box, waiting for your pitch, when a bright light flashes in the sky and you drop to the ground, trying to make sense of what just happened. As your eyes readjust, all the fielders lay flat, scared and confused. The catcher's mask is off to the side, and players are slowly getting back up, trying to assess the situation. What just happened? Everyone seems okay until you notice the pitcher laying flat on the mound, motionless with his arms and legs spread out. Is he dead? Minutes later, to your surprise, he gets up and finishes throwing a complete game, bringing your team to victory. This is the story of Ray Caldwell.
It's a homer into the left field stand.
From a young age, it was really obvious that Ray Caldwell was a very talented baseball player, and at 20 years old, he would sign with a semi-professional team. In 1910, just 2 years later, he would find himself pitching for the New York Highlanders, now known as the Yankees. Despite his pitching performance, his run support was historically bad. So bad, in fact, that at one point, it was reported that he would throw 52 consecutive scoreless innings. His own team, while he was pitching, would not end up scoring either. By the time Caldwell would turn 25 in 1914, he would become a whole new ball player, going 18-9 with a 1.94 ERA. He was labeled an emerging superstar and was considered to be an all-time great. In fact, teams were considering trading their own best players for him. Unfortunately, however, Caldwell's superstar would crumble after he developed an alcohol addiction. Due to his alcohol abuse, he was constantly fined or suspended, and one time decided to play in Panama for a 6-month suspension despite only initially having a 2-week one, and that was lengthened due to him not returning. Fast forward a couple years, and the Yankees, after hiring 2 detectives to monitor him, finally decided to release Caldwell after the constant trouble he found himself in. Caldwell was signed with the Red Sox in 1919, and he would continue to stir trouble, especially when becoming roommates with none other than Babe Ruth himself. After only playing with the team for 3 months, he was cut and ready to join pretty much any team that offered him a deal. Cleveland would be the team to sign him, and his contract would be labeled as one of the most bizarre in baseball history. The Indians embraced Caldwell's drinking habits, believing that was what made him such a great player. In fact, they encouraged him to drink. His contract stated that on games he pitched, he would later go out and get completely drunk, recover the next day from his hangover, and repeat. He would also be required to throw batting practice and run wind sprints as management deemed fit. Basically, pitch, drink, recover, sprint, batting practice, and repeat. He agreed. 5 days after signing, he would make his debut with the Indians in electrifying fashion. Clevelanders were pretty used to random weather conditions, so on August 24th, 1919, no one batted an eye at the dark clouds that rolled in from Lake Erie. They were just hoping to finish out the game before the storm forced everyone to leave. It was the 9th inning, as Caldwell was getting ready to finish out the game, when all of a sudden a huge crack and a light exploded on the field. Players were knocked over, all having been partially struck by lightning. Catcher Steve O'Neill threw his mask to avoid being burned by the scorched metal, and shortstop Ray Chapman, yes, that Ray Chapman, fell to the ground after his legs went completely numb. While completely stunned by what just happened, the players slowly started to their feet. All except for one. Ray Caldwell lay flat on his back with his arms and legs outstretched, and a wave of fear rushed over everyone. He wasn't moving, and his chest smoked. Was he dead? By the time he was nearly pronounced deceased, Caldwell woke up and slowly climbed to his feet. His team was overjoyed, but kept their distance from the man who had literally just been struck by lightning and survived. After some back and forth between Caldwell and management, he was surprisingly allowed to finish out the game, due to his request. Many fans rushed out of the field during all the chaos, but the very few who stayed reluctantly seated themselves on the metal bleachers. After lots of very understandable concern and confusion, the game resumed, and Caldwell would throw the last pitch, which resulted in a grounder to third that got the final out of the game. After being struck by lightning and nearly pronounced dead, Ray Caldwell had just thrown a complete game. Caldwell would later go on to throw no-hitter against the Yankees just 3 weeks later, and would finish out the 1919 season with a 1.74 ERA. He would spend his last 12 years in the minor leagues after being cut due to alcohol issues, but his time in the majors were nothing but impressive. Now, of course, is this even possible? Well, yes. It is believed that the metal bleachers surrounding the field, as well as the metal button on the top of Caldwell's hat, attracted the lightning and made for a perfect conductor of electricity. Caldwell's story is nothing short of amazing, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about it down below. If you want more videos like this, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe for more baseball content.